I am DJ Palindromeda. This is the live show. Today, this lovely Friday afternoon, we are joined in studio by Alms, a LA-based band who just released an EP. And this is Alms. Go ahead.
Looking in the mirror, spit at my reflection. Outfit is on point today. Shaking my own hand now, confidence is crazy. I can't get away from it. I don't play games.
Talking like you wanted a fight.
I don't do that.
Talking like it every night.
This makes me feel
Holding on to something I said.
sad and ashamed.
Holding on to nothing at all.
Soak around a sad talk, won't change before a mishap. Someday I'll repeat that. And I don't like the way that I feel all the time. I'd pour gas on the fire before accepting your silly advice. I don't play games.
Talking like you wanted a fight.
I don't do that.
Talking like it every night.
This makes me feel
Holding on to something I said.
sad and ashamed.
Holding on to nothing at all. I remember when we used to feel so self-assured. All of a sudden, self-respect is such a dirty word. What's it take for me to hate you for a minute? Hate you for a second to help me get back up off the ground. Bite your tongue before it's gone, before it's gone, before it's gone. Bite your tongue before it's faded all away, all away. Bite your tongue before it's gone, before it's gone, before it's gone. Bite your tongue before it's faded all away, all away.
my first question is just like, how did you get here? Where did you go to college? Was college radio a part of your life?
I went to school in Santa Cruz at UCSC, and started the band there, and then moved back to LA where I grew up, and the rest of these guys joined, and they all went to UCLA, but I think everybody here probably had some involvement with college radio. Like, I didn't work it or anything, but I definitely remember like having friends who did and playing like a session once in college up at Santa Cruz.
We did college radio. We went to college radio parties as well. Am I right? Yeah.
I think UCLA radio parties were cooler than the radio at the time when we were
Freaks.
there, and they improved it a lot, and it got a lot better.
Okay.
But it's fun having nice little community music lovers.
Yeah. I feel like if you're like a strange alt person in college and you don't fit in with like mainstream stupid, then you do radio, which is cool because then you find people like you and it's fun and it's good and you keep putting art out there. It's fire. I went to UCLA for painting. If you can't tell already.
Art boy.
What were all of your majors?
I studied jazz along with Cole. This is Ellington, by the way, speaking. Cole across the table, we were in the same department. Music.
Studying jazz music. We play a lot of jazz these days.
We majored in unemployment studies.
I studied art history.
That was Roman, by the way.
Support the arts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Tristan studied painting.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think any of us are really doing much with our degrees
No,
at this moment.
Didn't pay my parking tickets. Pay your parking tickets, or if it's not from the city, don't pay it because the school can't technically give you parking tickets. I heard.
Yeah.
Don't take my word on that.
This is legal advice.
On the air.
And did you like do bands in college? Like you did radio, but were you in bands in college? And like when did you start playing music? Was that even like earlier?
Yeah, we were all in different bands in college and in high school as well. I mean, me and Ellington knew each other kind of like acquaintances, I guess, in high school.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I would say we became friends, but yeah, we both played in different bands growing up in LA, kind of in the same music scene, with some people that we still like play with today, or like, you know, who are in bands that we play with today.
Definitely. Yeah.
Played saxophone growing up for 9 years, jazz and classical. Don't play it anymore, but I've been meaning to pick it back up. Yeah, I was in a SoundCloud rap group 3 years in college.
Oh my God.
Which I won't drop a name here, but yeah, and then other bands. Yeah, it's super fun.
Yeah.
I feel like we're lucky to have a lot of friends that are in a lot of different projects and doing really cool stuff.
Definitely.
Yeah, Alms specifically has been going for quite a few years now, like
Mhm.
2018, I think. But we definitely played a show in college. Well, I mean, you were playing a lot of shows up in Santa Cruz, but I think we did some shows when we were both in town on summers, breaks and stuff.
It's kind of how it like became a thing. I feel like it was I would say it was a band my last year of college in Santa Cruz, but it was very much not what it is now. It was really more so like a kind of solo thing that I was doing and just playing with some friends up there. But every time I'd come home to LA, we would end up kind of like getting a different group of people together, like friends who were available and in town. And that's kind of what turned into the band it is now.
So you released that album in 2019, and then was that like a year in that you decided like this is the group, now we're going to record, like these are the people going into studio?
It wasn't, so that album was more so like, I don't know, I would equate it more to like a mixtape or something. Like it was kind of like, that was like the result of all of this stuff I was doing in college, like solo, like kind of demo recordings and stuff. And then after that, like the next things we released, I guess the EP we released last year, Somehow Always, was probably the first one that was like more of a kind of collaborative thing, like the band that it is now, you know. Ellington and Tristan like both played on that, contributed to it. And then the new thing we did just now, again, is like a continuation of that. But yeah, it's funny because I feel like obviously it's all under Alms, right? It's like all under the same name, but the Dogpile record from 2019 definitely feels like a different band in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I appreciated during your set because I've been listening to that album, and then when the new EP came out, you can tell that there's like a shift, but also like
Totally.
hearing them live like really felt cohesive at the same time. So that's cool.
Yeah, that's great to hear.
Yeah, thank you.
Had the same talk 1,000 times. I understand the things you do. When I arrived an hour late, I take the beating that you gave. When I'm with you, we're at each other's throats. We're just hoping to break each other down, down, down. Still I try to get to you. I twist the knife with every word. When I'm with you, we're at each other's throats. We're just hoping to break each other down, down, down. It's nothing new. We break each other down.
I was looking at your Bandcamp and doing my research, and the tags on the bottom were Los Angeles, rock, indie, and indie sleaze. And then Los Angeles, capitalized. And I'm just wondering if those are like self-identifiers.
Oh, yeah. Well,
It's just one of those things
we
we
gotta
tell
get
you
those
to
views.
do.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I don't know if anybody's
get money.
actually
Get
going
paid.
on Bandcamp and like looking stuff up by indie
Genre?
rock.
Indie
Yeah.
sleaze,
No,
like
but
I feel like somebody
Indie sleaze
is. 'cause
specifically.
I wish
they-
we
I
had
hope
fans like
somebody
that.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hope
If
somebody
you're out
is.
there, come find us on Bandcamp.
Yeah.
You never
Sleaze
know.
Bandcamp.
Indie
Or
sleaze is
I'll
coming
just
back.
give you
It
my
is.
It
home
is.
address.
Shouts
Definitely
out
coming back.
Tatiana for writing the article on it, bringing it back.
On
yeah.
Indie Sleaze. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Totally.
that was epic. And I think it was funny because that's also how I would describe it, to be honest.
Nice.
That's cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
We're
it's
really
funny.
think
nice
it's
people,
fitting.
though.
We definitely
No,
get it.
it's nice of these
We've been
take
talking
care of
about
our
this. We get shoegaze a lot, which I
Do you
don't
get
I don't think
shoegaze?
we've ever self-identified as a shoegaze
we
band,
do not make shoegaze music.
but it
It
sort of
doesn't
happens
sound-
over and
It
over
happens
through the
all
years.
Over and over again. We
Yeah.
got shoegaze, LA shoegaze band. And I'm
Yeah.
like,
I feel like
Yeah.
LA shoegaze is the rest of the world indie sleaze. Does that
Yeah.
make sense? Because I feel like
Sure.
LA does sound
Yeah,
like
that's a good way
LA
to put it.
indie music is different than like New York.
Yeah,
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. Like, I think it's just probably a byproduct of like when we started playing a lot of shows in LA, like 2019, 2020, before like the pandemic, obviously. Like all of the bands that we were playing with were like pretty much like straight up like shoegaze bands, like in a
Yeah.
classic sense, like, you know.
Here's my question though. I'm like, I don't think any band self-identifies as like, this is a shoegaze band. I feel like other people
I know a
label it.
couple
don't know about
people like
that.
that.
I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe.
I'm from Minneapolis and I grew up in like that music scene and I loved it, but I had never heard the term shoegaze. And then as soon as I got here, everybody was like, "Oh, you only grew up with shoegaze and Midwest emo," and I'm like, "I've
nice.
never thought about
music.
it."
Yeah.
I know.
Rock and roll.
It's not like
Yeah.
Midwest emo because it's
Minneapolis
from the
is-
Midwest.
Emo
Is that
gets
where the
thrown
Walker
around a
Art
lot
Center
too,
is?
for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I went there. That was a fire art collection there.
it's a really
Tristan the
good.
painter speaking.
I moved
so fast, you move so slow. I guess it's gonna be an eye for an eye again. If you take it, you can't keep it. It'll all just go away with time. With time. In my room, in my head, things are different now. And once again, I am lonely now. I don't feel lucky now. I talk so much, you say nothing. I guess I should have said nothing at all. At all. And you write it down, I don't write it down. I'll just be a clown and make you laugh out loud. Things are changing all the time. Turn the water into wine. I know it all was my fault. If you wanted it then, you'd want it now. But you figured out somehow you didn't want it in the first place. I move so fast, you move so slow. I guess it's gonna be an eye for an eye again. If you take it, you can't keep it. You can just hold on to it for a while.
Okay, and then you just dropped your EP.
Yes.
Tell us about that. Tell us about like when you decided you had enough songs, when you decided to go into the studio, and then what it was like recording to release.
It's kind of a funny story. I mean, I think we had plans to like actually go into the studio and like do another kind of follow up to our last thing. I mean, I feel like initially we'd even talked about doing like a full length record, but
Yeah.
long story short, we just started kind of demoing what was going to be like the next record at Ellington's place, like in his room. And it just ended up sounding like way better than we were expecting. So we kind of were like, you know what, let's just like give this a shot and like go with this approach, which we've never done like before. Everything was either recorded at like, you know, a friend's like kind of more professional studio, or like we had done it with somebody and then sent it to like a proper, you know, producer to like mix and master it.
It was the first time we properly demoed too, I think.
Yeah.
Ever. Like aside from an iPhone voice memo or
Yeah.
something kind of like that. It was the
Yeah.
first time we really tracked and kind of wrote while recording, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of with producing in mind more so than trying to capture a live performance in the studio, or I don't know. Live performance always ends up being a part of recording, obviously, but in the past we've done a lot of like one band in the same room playing all together, and
Yeah.
this was a lot more like spaced out sessions and kind of taking the time to like really dial in each thing specifically.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We definitely like gave ourselves the time like to kind of work stuff out, you know, and like not feel pressure. I mean, I don't know. I always put like a weird internal clock on myself anytime we're putting out music, and I want to like do it as fast as possible. But I think like the rest of the band had a bit more of like, you know, whatever. It was kind of more able to be like, yo, let's just like not rush this. Like, let's actually like do it as good as we can do it. And like, we have the luxury to like kind of work on it whenever. Cause you know, like
He also was the
Ellington and Cole live together. Tristan lives like next door to them, and I'm not too far over. So
10 feet away.
yeah, it was like we could just get together on a Wednesday night and like work out a guitar part or like record something and not feel like, okay, we're in a studio, we're paying this guy like $5,000 and we have like 2 days, you know?
Yeah.
Which is like, I think the kind of situation most people find themselves in,
Yeah.
unless you
Yeah.
have like a large amount of money like to blow on recording.
And
like,
no band has any money because of certain platforms.
Yeah. Yeah.
So help if you want.
Definitely not
bands
us.
to keep existing, you know, support them.
Buy the
Yeah.
t-shirts. It all boils down to t-shirts.
So glad I stayed. Well, I made a mess. You took the blame.